haven't given you a method. We will develop methods out of you. Method is your personality of it. Principles never change. The method depends on you and your culture. And so what happens is we build a model of a church. You get Willow Creek, or you get this, or you get that. And what happens is you get a real big one, and everybody tries to follow their method. And it doesn't work for everybody. It'll work for some, but not everybody. Because that church was designed for that method. What I'm trying to do is bring to the world the why behind the method and let them develop their own method so they can be independently who God called them to be. He doesn't cookie cutter things, including churches. No church was supposed to be a clone of another one. There are individual people in that church, and those individuals make up the DNA of that church. Do you see what I'm saying? But every church should have a path to freedom. Now, if it isn't a bridge, I don't care. Rick Warren does the baseball thing, you know, and there's different ways, but you're going to find it comes down to segments being laid out a certain way.
He uses the concentric circles.
Okay.
Crowd, community, congregation, community.
Okay. He also has the bases that goes around. Yeah. So my point is, that's fine. I don't care about the method if the principles are being honored.
So I like the phrase, Bethy, it's the why behind the why.
That's why Bar One's tagline is why we do what we do. It's all about the principles. And I become unpopular because principles are confusing. You have to think to have a principle. Method, you don't have to think. You just have to memorize things. You don't have to figure out why you put the gas in your car and it works. The principle means you got to be a mechanic. Now, it can seem right to learn the method, but the end of it is death, because if something's malfunctioning, you can't fix it. And you don't even know it's malfunctioning until it's too late. How well is the local church doing in America right now?
Not.
How many would say it really is malfunctioning? If we are the people that have all the answers for the world because we've got connection to heaven, and we have all the resources available to us because He's rich, and we have all the love in the world because He's patient and kind, why is that not working for us? If you gave me all the money I need with people that love no matter what anybody does to them and the proper information, I can build any major organization you want. Well, then why isn't it being built? I personally believe because we've lost contact with the principle giver. And we've gone to methods. We've got too many books out there now. And yet I write books. But what happens is whenever somebody does good, they write a book and everybody reads it thinking I can be like them. And we try this, and we try that, and we try this, and we try this, and we try that. And then pretty soon everybody around is saying, I'm tired, I don't want to try anything more. It doesn't work. I had one guy in Germany one day say to me, Bethy, I've read all the books. I've gone to all the seminars. It doesn't work. I said, thank God for that. Because the minute it does, we don't need Jesus Christ. We just need a book. And if it was a book, why didn't He just drop the Bible? Could God have written the Bible? Yeah, He did. How did He write the Bible? Through people. And did He leave any methods in it? He went to great care not to. How do you heal people? There was no method Jesus used. Drives us nuts because if we could just get the formula. There is no formula. There is no formula. There's a principle that stands next to a person. That principle is connect to God and agree with Him. And if the person's supposed to be healed, they will. But we think, well, okay, if you spit in their eye, get some dirt. No. The way I read it was, that's the method. Methods will not free you. Principles and relationship will. That's from glory to glory, from agreement to agreement. We're transformed into His image. And so what the bridge is designed to do is to lay out the principles that are necessary. The things that you need to learn as mechanics. And once you have the principles, you can build any method you want. So the master plan is very simple. The master plan is the ABCs. So when we read together, you know your alphabet. So I'm sorry, it requires you to roll up your sleeves and learn some principles and some alphabet. It requires you to learn that there is a Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, and they're united, and it takes you back to the basics of how the kingdom was designed. Okay? But if you notice the master plan, how do we run this thing? What do you mean? Well, how do we get it to work? Figure it out. Aren't you going to give us a program? And that's why some people really, in the beginning months, weeks, even a few years, are because they're just tell me what to do. And yet we say, don't tell me what to do. It's the most ridiculous lie that goes on in our head. And I refuse to tell you what to do. I won't land for you on what you're to believe. Recently, when I was in Frankfurt, I had a pastor say that to me. He finally got angry and said, will you just tell us what to believe? Wow, I'm God. I said, you really want a mentally ill person telling you what to believe with my past? Or are you saying, I want you to tell me what God says for us to believe so you don't have to go to God? And he just went, oh. See, because it's hard. That I get. It's like a caterpillar struggling with a cocoon. Would you just rip the thing off for me? No, I won't. But I'll stand with you, and I will keep coming back until you see it and go, oh, I get it. Now we can roll up our sleeves. And that's what we're coming around to. But everything in you is going to be yelling, why are we doing this? I don't see why where's the results? It doesn't work that way. And that's what makes what I do kind of unique. It's what makes it unique. But for the groups that understand that and receive that and embrace it and find their own way, you ought to see them fly. They're riding their bikes through the streets. They're learning to dance in the mountains. And it's a powerful thing to watch people really free to love other people. I haven't met a person today that doesn't want to love people. I have met a bunch that can't figure out how. And we're so weary of trying and tripping and tripping and tripping and not knowing what to say. How many of you say at least once in your life you've sat across from someone saying, I don't know what to tell you. But isn't there everything inside that desperately wishes you knew what to say? So we're left with, well, I'll pray for you, you know, God cares. And doesn't that sound empty? Well, there are answers that are there, but it's going to require more than you getting a method. I know nothing about how my car works. If it's broken on the highway, I have got to trust a mechanic. And so if somebody came to me and they've got their car broken on the highway, I'm going to say, well, I don't know. I know the mechanic could help you. Sorry, I don't know any. We do know the mechanic. Are we willing to stop and learn from him? So we'll be able to say, I know what to do. And here becomes the frightening thing. If you don't know what to do, how's your life working for you? I'm sincere about that. When all hell breaks loose, what happens to you? Do you get depressed and frightened? Angry? Or do you have confidence and lean?